In this lesson, we're going to talk about adding and subtracting rational expressions that have unlike denominators. When we want to add and subtract rational expressions, we want to find the least common multiple of all the denominators in our expression. We want to rewrite the fractions as equivalent fractions using that least common multiple or least common denominator. And then all we have to do is add and subtract the numerators and simplify if we need to. In our first example, we're going to add 5x over 24 plus 7x over 36. My least common denominator here is 72. If you'd like to find out how to find that least common denominator, please refer back to the previous video, which is finding the least common multiple for polynomials. If I want that first fraction to have a denominator of 72, I need to multiply the top and the bottom of my fraction by 3. So my new numerator becomes 15x. If I want the second fraction to have a denominator of 72, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2. Again, we're making equivalent fractions, so that means that the fractions may look different, but they actually have the same meaning. When we reduce them, they're the exact same number. Now that my denominators match, I can add the numerators. 15x plus 14x, we have like terms here, so that's 19x over 72. That doesn't simplify anymore, so there's my final answer. In the second example, we found that our LCD is going to be 36 a squared b. So if I want that first fraction to have a denominator of 36a squared b, I'm going to need to multiply by 3a, top and bottom. So I have 15a over 36a squared b minus 2b top and bottom. So 2b squared over 36a squared b. 15a and negative 2b squared aren't like terms, but I can simplify this by having it as one fraction. 15a minus 2b squared over 36a squared b. In the next example, we found that our LCM is x times x plus 2 times x minus 2. This first fraction, if we look at the denominator, it's x squared minus 4, so that's x plus 2x minus 2. So all we're missing to have the LCM or the LCD is the x. So we're going to multiply top and bottom by x. My second fraction has the denominator of x times x plus 2. So it's missing x minus 2, top and bottom. So I have 3 times x minus 2 over x times x plus 2, x minus 2. Let's simplify this. X squared plus 3x minus 6 over x times x squared minus 4. X squared plus 3x minus 6 doesn't factor, so there's my simplified solution. Lastly, I have denominators of x minus y squared and x squared minus y squared. So my LCM was x plus y times x minus y squared. My first fraction is missing the x plus y. My second fraction is missing that second x minus y. So I have 1 times x plus y, which is x plus y minus 6 times x minus y. So we can distribute that negative 6 just to keep it a little simpler. Negative 6x plus 6y over my denominator, x plus y times x minus y squared. Let's simplify that numerator even further. So I have a negative 5x plus 7y over x plus y times x minus y squared. Again, that numerator is not going to factor, so I'm as simplified as possible. So just to review what we did, in a previous video we found all these least common denominators, but if you had fractions that had different denominators, that's where you would start. You would find that least common multiple for all of your denominators. Then you figure out what your denominator in your particular fraction is missing so that you can write it as an equivalent fraction. Once you have your equivalent fractions, we can then add or subtract the numerators. Once we do that, then we can simplify.